Well. Another week goes by and another Denver Broncos victory. Victory Monday. And I loving it. The Denver Broncos. Are 9-5. They will be getting their first winning season since 2016. They also will have a chance to clinch their first playoff berth since 2015, our Super Bowl 50 season, with a win on Thursday night against the Chargers. And with the Chargers' loss yesterday, the Broncos now have improved to a second place. Now the Broncos have to beat the Chargers and try to win out. They can't get swept by the Chargers and have the same record, because if they get swept by the Chargers and have the same record, the Chargers will owe them on tiebreakers, because the number one tiebreaker will be given to the Chargers because of the series sweep. Because once the series is split, it's going to depend on division record, and then if they have the same division record, it's conference record or record against common opponents, or I mean, that's just how tiebreakers work in the NFL. But the Broncos are 9-5, and with a big victory against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, with beating the Colts, we are at 500 against the Colts throughout the history of playing the Colts. It's 15-15. The series is tied now. And I do not like the Indianapolis Colts. That's a team I cannot stand. But let's put it this way. It looked like the Colts were going to run away with it. You had the Tony Richardson touchdown. Then it was like, 13-7 at halftime, and in that first half, Bo Nix threw 2 interceptions. And I'm going to say this was not Bo Nix's best game. He threw 3 interceptions. He threw his third in the third quarter. But they found a way to win, and that's all that matters. But Bo Nix got to be more careful. But even with those 3 interceptions, he threw 3 touchdown passes. But our defense is who really deserves this ball. While Bo Nix threw 3 interceptions, our defense had 3 takeaways. Pat Surtain had the interception, and Nick Bonita had the interception, even though it was that was returned for a touchdown. That was considered a forced fumble, because even though it was a reverse play when, I forget who it was that tried to reverse throw it back to Tony Richardson. Nick Bonito went right there, intercepted it, and returned it for a touchdown. And then, but the play that turned it all around for us wasn't even our own doing. It was Jonathan Taylor, the Colts running back, who ran it all the way for a touchdown, but he pulled a Deshaun Jackson and fumbled the ball at the inch-yard line. Because, I still remember when Deshaun Jackson did that back in his rookie year in 2008 against the Cowboys. But with that being said and done, the Broncos get a 31-13 victory against the Indianapolis Colts. And it goes to our defense. Now, the title of this video, I'm only going to say this one thing on the title of this video. And you're probably saying, why is it titled that? Well, because this Denver Bronco team reminds me so much of the 2012 Seattle Seahawks. Remember Russell Wilson's rookie year, and nobody really expected the Seahawks to do much in 2012. They were just going to be maybe a 500 team, even if that. But Russell Wilson, who a lot of people doubted would be great in the NFL, emerged. And the Seahawks emerged. And the Seahawks just went on a roll that year. They had one of the best defense in the NFL. Russell Wilson emerged into a great-ass quarterback. And Marsh giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch. This Denver Bronco team reminds me of that Seattle Seahawks team that we're coming out of nowhere and we're shocking people. Is what we're doing. We're winning football games. Is what we're doing. We are winning football games at 9-5. That 2012 Seattle Seahawks team, I remember. Late in the year, they had some tough opponents. I remember when they had the Buffalo Bills, that one game, the Buffalo Bills, remember? And, okay, the Buffalo Bills were not a great team in 2012, but the Seahawks had a problem winning on the road, especially when they had to travel to the Eastern time zone. But they killed the Bills like 50-17, because that game, I remember, was in Toronto, and then they just came off back, and that was like a week after they put a 50 burger on Arizona, and then they came and beat the 49ers on Sunday Night Football when everyone says, oh, they're not going to be able to beat the 49ers, which they murdered them. And this is what, and even though the Broncos, I'm not saying are putting like 50 burgers or whooping on people, but this is the team that, this Broncos team is reminding me of that Seattle team, how we're just finding ways to win, and we are going to probably spell trouble in the NFL, because I remember that 2013 offseason. Everyone said, watch out for Seattle. That might be the team to beat in the NFL. Well, that's what I'm going to say about. And they ended up winning the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not sitting there saying that the Broncos are going to be going to no Super Bowl, but watch out in the next couple of years. But watch out for us, especially in this next offseason, because one thing I think we're going to really need to look at is getting a running back. Because again, yesterday we couldn't get our running game going. We couldn't. Our running, and be honest with you, we got to clean house with our running game. Javonte Williams, just let him go. Estime, I just think of him as a liability. Now, the only one I really trust is McLaughlin, but he didn't even have a good game yesterday. Our top rusher was quarterback Bo Nix. So, I'm just saying I'm happy for yet another win, and let's get ready for the Chargers on a short week on Thursday Night Football.